And we're going to go ahead and start recording. Perfect. Thank you. And then just a couple things to share before we get into our presentation. This is just a reminder of the dates that we have webinars scheduled this year. You can register for all of them at the same time or each individually. And then I do try to send out a reminder with the topic about a week before we have our webinar scheduled. Just a quick poll here to self-identify before we get started. I'll give you a minute to do this.
Yeah, and just a quick note that there are 6 questions, so if you don't mind completing those and then hitting submit, we would greatly appreciate it.
All right, perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for coming today. I'm actually one of the speakers, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be sharing some curriculum with you. It's curriculum called Speaking Easy, and it is developed by UFI Physics Extension faculty, and we'll get right into that. The team that is on today with me and will be presenting with me are Bill Lester. He is from Citrus County, Florida. Wayne Hobbs is from Clay County, Florida. Taylor Clem is from Nassau County, and Alyssa Vinson is formerly of Manatee County, now Hillsborough County, and then myself in Yasalonis in Polk County. And so Speaking Easy is actually a curriculum that was developed back in 2019. It was kind of a result of some discussions about Master Gardener volunteers having the skills needed to present to an adult audience and feel comfortable in doing that. And so I think probably like a lot of you, we have a lot of teachers in our groups, and they're usually really comfortable presenting to youth audiences. And so some of them even have a hard time transitioning to speaking to adult groups. And so after some initial focus group work, the Speaking Easy curriculum was developed. And so the goals of this curriculum are to have created something that can be used by any Master Gardener volunteer coordinator, since most every Master Gardener program in Florida and beyond rely heavily on our Speakers Bureau members to present educational programs to the public. And so this curriculum can really easily be plugged into an existing maybe Master Gardener volunteer training or used as a standalone training, maybe even having some of those leaders in your Speakers Bureau programs take this curriculum and offer it to other Master Gardener volunteers as well. And so online resources and in-person activities result in a group of volunteers that are confident in presenting, confident in themselves, the material that they're presenting. They will then be knowledgeable as well about the process of a Speakers Bureau educational program. And by giving the Master Gardener volunteers these tools, they can present with ease and be comfortable. And so there's a lot provided in the curriculum package, and we've made it so Master Gardener volunteer coordinators can use everything, or they can pick and choose what they like and use that in their training as well. And so I'm going to go through and list what's in the package, and then we're going to go through each individual item and kind of tell you a little bit more about them and how they can be used to train Master Gardener volunteers. So in the curriculum, it includes recorded presentations, and so these can be used as CEU opportunities or right in with that training. Recorded presentations, so if you don't feel like presenting yourself, all of that is recorded. A program development fact sheet, and we'll show you that here in a minute, and they can use that right along with developing their programs. And the program development activity worksheet is something they can use as well as they get towards being comfortable with the topic they're going to be presenting on. All right, I'm going to hand it to Alyssa now.
All right, so I'm going to continue to talk about some of the items that are available in the curriculum package, and then I'll go into detail on a few of those items. So we also have included in the curriculum package a presentation skills activity worksheet, and this can be something that you do with them, given as homework, or they can do as group assignments. We have program lesson plan, which you're going to get a chance to see where they actually work through, and you can utilize that program lesson plan as a tool to develop your program that you're going to deliver, or to have them use as a template to develop a program that they want to work through and develop. We have the presentation evaluation rubric, which is a way for Master Gardener volunteers who are going through this training to get feedback on their presentation skills. And then we have developed a program evaluation to kind of gauge the overall gain in confidence and skills in the Master Gardener volunteers who go through the program. And that'll be talked about in more detail later on. Next one. So the first kind of piece of the curriculum package, there's a facilitator's guide that walks you through how to use the different pieces and where you can find them. But one of the things we wanted to make sure was available for everyone were PowerPoint presentations that could either be, modified to suit your own needs, or to be used kind of as is, right? We all know. Extension agents, Master Gardener coordinators in particular, are very busy individuals. And so having tools that you can use to modify are very helpful. So these were, developed to be intentionally easy to incorporate. The two PowerPoint presentations that are available, one is called kind of the big picture, where it looks at the program development process and where programs that are delivered by Master Gardener volunteers fit into the broader organization that is Extension. So kind of giving them an understanding of how to develop a program based on certain objectives and audience needs, and then looking at how that is incorporated into the overall impacts and goals for an Extension program. And then the other presentation is on presentation skills. So looking at how to develop, whether it's a PowerPoint or an interactive demonstration, learning how to tailor that presentation for different audiences, talking about ways to kind of overcome stage fright jitters, right? We talk about ways to organize PowerPoint presentations to make them more visually appealing. These are those kind of hard skills for presentations that some of our folks who have not had as much experience in presenting to the public will need. All right, next one. And then to make it super easy for everybody, we know you're busy because we're busy too. We took those PowerPoint presentations and we went ahead and we pre-recorded them. So this would allow you to plug these into existing curriculum or CEU opportunities that you provide to your volunteers. I know different programs around the country have different ways of kind of getting that continuing education requirement completed by their volunteers. But you can provide them with this video, have them complete it, practice some of the activities, and then provide you with that, and it can be a CEU opportunity. So both of these pre-recorded presentations are available for you to build a special training around, or to just plug into existing modules or provide as a standalone. Next one. I think this is Wayne.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So also tying back into the presentation of the curriculum, we do provide program development fact sheets to the Master Gardeners. A lot of it is actually focused in on having them be able to understand more of the overview of how extension works and logic models and things like that, having them build up their own objectives. So looking at both SMART objectives and then also what type of outcomes you're looking for, like short, medium, and long term. So that fact sheet kind of goes into detail of that, and once again, it's available as part of the curriculum package. Okay. And then also to tie in with the recorded presentations or the in-person activities, there are two worksheets included. One of them is this program development activity worksheet, which does help them narrow down their goals. So overall, it starts looking into what are their overall goals, what do they want to accomplish, whether it's knowledge gain, behavior change, and then narrowing down those into what they want to see right after the class, and then medium term, long term, short term goals as well. One big thing I found from using this type of curriculum for a while is that it actually helps the Master Gardeners more understand the planning side of things and also understand more about how we're spending our time in our office, so they know that we are actively looking at these types of things. There's more to it than just getting a topic and building a PowerPoint and going out and talking. So it should be good for the next. And then the other worksheet is looking at presentation skills, and this takes once they come up with their outcomes, it helps them kind of put it all together so that they can start looking at what they need to achieve those objectives. So they start looking at what their audience is like, whether using youth, adults, garden clubs, novice versus experienced gardeners, things like that. And then also determining what types of activities they might want to do. So is there going to be interest for this program? Are people actually going to want to see it? But then also what can they do to help people learn? So if they're going to put in any hands-on activities, demonstrations, maybe even if they want to make it so that the activities are online or hybrid format. So I'm going to kind of get them thinking in that direction. And then also kind of just planning out what type of teaching methods that are going to be best for the topic as well as the audience, and linking it back to all those objectives again.
All right. So as one way to help implement this program for everybody individually within your own Master Guard volunteer programs is we developed a model program lesson that you could take this and you have the ability to use this immediately. So by giving you this lesson plan as a model lesson plan, it gives you the opportunity to just kind of take that planning out of the implementation. So you can kind of essentially look at the resources available, look at the activities. Everything's broken up into chunked information. Includes the materials and supplies, as well as some guiding questions and outlined activities that you can use to implement this. And as well as we also provide just like a blank template that can allow you to kind of develop and build your own lesson plan to present this with your county or your volunteers to best meet their needs as well. So we want to provide this just to help simplify that planning process. Next. So we have this presentation or we have the program, and one of the things that we always want to do, we have this information. You can use this program in different ways. And part of the program is to provide opportunity for volunteers to develop their own presentation and to practice that presentation to their peers. So it's a great way for them to not only learn these skills, but then practice these skills. And we developed a presentation evaluation rubric based around the 4 E's. And these 4 E's are engaging, entertaining, educate, and empower. This part of this evaluation we actually took from our state Master Guard Volunteer coordinator, Wendy Wilbur, and we built that into the presentation rubric. So it allows to provide feedback from the peers, but also when the volunteers practice or do their practice presentations, we as facilitators of this event or this activity have the ability to also ask additional follow-up questions. A typical skill when learning about presentation skills is how does that presenter feel they did immediately after their presentation? So doing that reflective probing questions right after they present can also provide some feedback. But then at the end of everyone's presentations, you have the ability to do a summative reflection with all the participants. But this individual evaluation rubric can help provide feedback to those individual presenters from their peers. So next. But there's some other ways that we do evaluate the program. So we actually have built an evaluation in Qualtrics, which really asks questions about confidence in being able to prepare and plan presentations, how they felt before and after. So this is actually what we did is we actually took that original Qualtrics survey and we moved it into a Google Classroom that we built where it would actually allow you to collect data, but then also have a data visualizer. So you can, like in the state of Florida, you can actually select your county and then you can actually see what the data is for your county volunteers, but also you can look at it from statewide. So everyone that's taking or participating in this program and its evaluation. So this is a very effective tool. It's great. But one of the big things that we are changing is we found out yesterday that how our state implements the use of like shared drive documents, including things like confronts of the drive. We can't share that to the public. It only can be shared within UF domain. So we're looking at a new way to kind of share and facilitate this information because we think this is going to be very handy and helpful. So we're looking at a way to move it back to Qualtrics, but also maybe some other possibilities that can help with data visualization, because it'd be really nice if you implement this in the state, you can look at statewide data as well as you can zoom into that individual county level data. So next. So we have used this program in different ways. Each agent, the first time that we did this, and all the other coordinators have the ability to kind of step in and provide some information as how we used it. But when we first did this program, we did a big regional training. So all of us, the coordinators, we did a big online training session. And then within our individual like districts within the state, we did the in-person presentation activities. And it worked out pretty well. But then we started to use them in other ways as well. So specifically for my county, I brought this program into our volunteer training for our new Master Gardener volunteers, because they're not only learning about horticulture, but as to meet the mission of being outreach and the educators to help support the horticulture extension agents. We built this into that training program so then those new volunteers can be effective communicators and educators for like their Speakers Bureau program, etc.
Yeah, I'll just chime in too. We also integrate this into our new Master Gardener training curriculum so that we can push them straight into Speakers Bureau when they are ready to get going and getting volunteer hours. And the worksheets are really helpful to them. Wayne specifically talked about having them think about the goal of the program that they're presenting. You know, they may have a specific interest in something and think it'd be cool to share, but having them think about like the people that attend, what do you want them to learn? And then working backwards from there, I think that really was very helpful to them in putting together a presentation.
Okay, next slide. Okay, if you'd like to access any of this information, you could just go ahead and click on that QR code there. And I checked it earlier today and it was working this morning. And that takes you to our Google website where we have links to all the materials, all the PowerPoints, the recorded PowerPoints, worksheets. But like Taylor mentioned, University of Florida just changed their rules on how you could share materials online with others. So we can pretty much guarantee that this QR code will work just fine until midnight tonight. After that, if you go to the website, you may not be able to download the materials. So we're still not really sure exactly when that's going to go into effect or if it will, but go ahead and click on that QR code and bookmark the website for right now. If you have problems accessing the information on there, don't worry. At the very end here, we have Ann's email address. You can email her and reach out, and we will find a way to get the information to you. Next slide. So since we have given this program several times around the state of Florida, we have gotten some feedback from Master Gardeners about, was it helpful? Did they enjoy it? Was it a benefit to them? And we have a couple quotes on here. People enjoyed the fact that it starts from the end and kind of works its way back to help you plan and prepare and get an idea of what your overall goal is. The program is well presented, succinct, easy to take away, and a good base for a new public speaker. And making sure that the audience is engaged in the topic while making it fun, but always maintaining the education and empowerment and takeaway. I know that when you're dealing with new Master Gardeners, some of them have spent an entire career speaking to large groups of people, and they will go out there and teach others just fine. Other people are terrified to do so. This gives you a way to kind of ease people into it and make them more comfortable with it and get them used to the idea of planning out what they're going to teach and exactly how they're going to teach it and what kind of goals they're shooting for in the end. So next slide. So if anybody has any questions, like I said, go ahead and write down Ann's email address there if you have problems getting into the Google site and being able to download all the different worksheets and publications and documents and PowerPoints. Get in touch with us and we'll figure out a way to get that information to you. So, Alyssa, yes?
Yeah, I was just going to add, I am getting all of your requests to access the files for those of you that are trying to access them right now that are asking for access. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to add you as viewers of the files so that you can download and save to a different location. So rather than making you all editors, I'm just going to go ahead and give you viewing privileges. That way you can copy, download to your own offsite location, and then you can modify it for your own purposes. Okay.
Alyssa, can you put a link to it in the chat by any chance for people?
Well, yes. Hang on a second. I will do that.
For a limited time, you can access this. That really, maybe we should do that with more curriculum, right?
Guaranteed until midnight tonight. After that, we're not really sure.
Let's run on it. People are really interested when it's only available for a few hours. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions about any of the curriculum that we shared, you're welcome to unmute or type it in the chat. I'm trying to look at the chat now to see if there's any specific questions. Obviously, as you get into the material, if you have questions, you are welcome to contact me. And if I have questions, I can get it out to our group as well. It might be something that we could add to the resources page for EMG as well, so that it's not actually lost to you. So we'll figure out a way. If you know somebody that might be interested and can't get to it today or whatever, don't worry about it too much. We'll get it to you. So you can type questions in the chat or unmute if you have any of those.
Okay, and I see that Carly shared the link to the Google site in the chat.
Oh, perfect.
And I checked and it works.
Oh, perfect. Yep.
And
So
I had to
scroll back.
request access to it also.
Awesome. Yeah, so you should be able to download most everything that you need pretty quickly. All right. So if there's no specific questions on the curriculum, we can move into the remainder. I think I have my question slide here. All right, well, thank you so much to all our presenters, to Bill, Alyssa, Taylor, Wayne. Thank you all for presenting with me today on our Speaking Easy curriculum. And again, we'll get that all informational out to you all, and you have my email for all of that. Okay, so there's just a couple of announcements for the end here. Hopefully everybody has these save the dates for the next Master Gardener, International Master Gardener Conference in August, coming up very soon. Hopefully we'll have some more updates in the next couple of months. But this is a virtual conference, so should be fairly easy for everyone to attend. But I know Master Gardener volunteers like booking vacations and things early, so make sure you're getting them this information as soon as possible so they can go ahead and hold those dates, because it'll be a really good conference, and because it will be online, so many people can enjoy it. We will have a recording of this session along with all of our other webinars. They are posted on our YouTube channel, and you can go back a couple of years to view things. If you've missed something or you're just getting into attending the EMG webinars, there's a lot of really great speakers, a lot of great topics on there, and you can find everything on our YouTube channel. And then also make sure you're getting the National EMG Coordinators e-news blast that comes out once a month. You can subscribe using the QR code or the website listed there. Has any news, has the information on the webinars, new resources, conferences, all of those things that are beneficial to EMG coordinators. And then our next webinar, so remember we are every other month, you're going to hear from UF-IFAS Extension again. And the next webinar is June 11th, always at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And they're going to be presenting on YouTube for Extension. It's a multi-county program that they're working on there. So that's what's coming up next. And then again, reminder where you can register for everything. And we do have every spot filled for this year, but if you are attending conferences this year or you have a new program you're interested in sharing, you can send an email to Ashley and I, or either one of us, and we can get you scheduled for presenting in 2026. So have a little bit of time to think about it, but we're always looking for unique topics, fun new programs, ways to share and help other EMG coordinators throughout the US. All right, so unless there's anything, I'm just checking the chat really quickly. Looks like everyone's getting what they need. So that's all we have today. We appreciate everybody attending. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in June.